Hi, this is Tim from UK Home Gym, your home for UK-specific independent home gym tips and advice. And today I'm going to be doing a product review, and this is for a set of resistance bands, loop-type resistance bands, and they are called the Core Gain resistance bands. Okay, it's a set of four resistance bands going up from 7 kilograms to 56 kilograms of resistance, apparently. I'm not quite sure how they measure this, but anyway, that's what it claims to do. Now, there's a little snag with this product, and that is that I just before I started recording, had a look on Amazon where I bought this originally. I think back in 2000, I believe, 2020, sorry. And I realized that it's currently unavailable on the listing, and we don't know when or if this item will be back in stock. So I was considering not doing this video at all, but then I thought, well, actually, I'm going to review the type of band this is. It really doesn't make a big difference, in my experience, what kind of, which company makes these bands. There's so much of the same kind of thing. It's more the type of band that I really want to talk about today. I've used, different brands of this, and they all have the same sort of problems and same advantages. So I think that this still will be a valid review. So I think I just want to focus on this type of loop band set. So let's have a look to see what you get. Now, when I was making this, there are four bands. When I was sort of putting this video together, I couldn't find the second band in the series, which is the black band, which is the second lightest band. So let's have a look to see what you get with a set of bands like this. So basically, the basic principle, as you could probably guess, is they're made of latex, usually 100% latex, and the thicker the band is, the more resistance it's going to give you. And the concept that you sort of have with these bands is that you can sort of tie them around themselves to then sort of tie onto maybe an anchor, a door anchor or something like that, or an anchor point if you have something, fixed to, your, maybe you have maybe something like a pull-up bar or something like that, or a squat rack, something that's bolted into the floor or bolted into a wall or something like that. Um, and you then sort of tie it around itself and then give, or you can use yourself as an anchor point. Maybe you stand on it or something like that, and you the exercise there. Now I'm showing you the red band here, and this the original red band that I had in the Core Gain set actually broke. But I think that you'll find that all of these, the lighter bands, break very, very easily. I don't know if you can see it in the video here, but if you look at this one, which is a replacement generic band, from whatever other kind of company made it, and it has exactly the same problem. There are these tiny little micro tears that sort of start appearing on the band, and there's not much you can do about it. I think you just have to accept that as an occupational hazard. When they snap in half. Um, you know, Usually they don't snap back on you, but it is a possibility that they could do that. So what I usually do with bands is I usually, if I'm pulling anything towards me, towards my face or whatever, I usually wear like a pair of goggles or sunglasses or something like that, just to be on the double safe side if something does snap back on me. I've got like a sort of backup plan basically. But yeah, so the thing is with these bands here is that you can use them for a lot of things. And I think that the most simple sort of use that I have for them is for rehabilitation work and for anything to do with the core. I think it's really, really good. If you sort of add these into like a core workout, particularly for your obliques, really, really good if you're doing that. Now, you can also use free weights for your obliques, but I do like that maybe to start off with like a set and with the bands, and then move up to free band pull aparts. This is really fantastic. The midsection of your back there, I do at least a set of those every day. And I just think that it's great because that does help improve posture and stuff like that. And that's really something I recommend using these kind of bands for, because you do get extra resistance. Now, this is maybe the reason why I bought the bands in the very first place, was because I wanted to learn to do pull-ups. And for assisted pull-ups, banded pull-ups, this is perfect. This is the best way, in my opinion, to start doing the pull-up, because you really, get an understanding to it when you're doing the pull-up in this way, and it really gives you a huge confidence boost to be able to sort of pull yourself over the bar, even if you have got a lot of help. That is a real fiddly thing to do, to set up the band like that. But remember, the thicker band will give you more resistance, actually will make it easier for you to pull up, um, and the thinner band will give you less resistance. Um, so you can sort of work your way through the bands and get to it without. Now, the upper body stuff. What can you do with the upper body stuff? This is hammer curl for the upper body. I like this. This is a really good exercise. I particularly like it if you have any sort of tendon issues or trying to rehabilitate them or whatever. I think this is good. Or if you're sort of warming up and you want to do a set with free weights or something like that, and then you can sort of move up through the bands here, and sort of, it's a bit like putting extra weight on the bar, move up through the bands. Now, remember, the resistance curve is completely different with the bands than it is with the free weights. You'll just feel a very different experience. You'll feel like a burn very, very quickly with resistance. You might notice also in the video I'm using full finger gloves, which I think is really good, because you tend to get burn or sort of friction sort of related discomfort otherwise on your hands. Now, other great things here. I really, really like this for the tricep, particularly if you've got any sort of, tricep related tendonitis or anything like that. I think it's a brilliant way to sort of relieve that pain, and or maybe sort of to warm up if you wanted to for some tricep pull downs with a DIY cable setup, or maybe tricep extensions or something like that. Really good. Just get the the blood flowing through your triceps, and fluid and so on going through the triceps. Really good. You can do this two-handed, single-handed, unilateral, whatever. You can work up the weights there with different kind of resistance on colored bands. You can also do shrugs here, power shrugs if you want. With the bands, I actually think they're really, really good. They come into their own, basically, the shrugs. That is so easy to set this up, rather than what you'd normally have to do to set up something like a trap bar, or some heavy dumbbells or something like that. It's a very quick alternative if you're feeling a bit pressed for time, but you do want to throw some trap work in maybe at the end of a workout. For the upper body stuff, it is very good. Now, for the lower body stuff, you're going to find that it's a very different experience if you're someone who's used to the barbells and like that. And I'm going to show you the squat first. So what you do is you sort of put that around your neck. It looks more uncomfortable than it actually is. You'll find that you can't really go very low with the squat here, because it doesn't really do anything. You're sort of using your own body weight when you're going low there. But when you're sort of straightening up, that's when you can really feel it. And I find this is a really, really good workout for the glutes, which sometimes I don't feel quite as much in a normal squat. I think I'm going to show you the slightly heavier version here as well. But this is a very good exercise. I think if you're pressed for time and you want to throw in some squats and you haven't really had enough time to do it, or maybe you're going to do a lighter squat session, you could do a banded session. Later in the week, and maybe earlier in the week you've done some barbell squats or whatever, and it's much less taxing, and it's a different kind of weight curve. And I think the last exercise I'm going to show you here, the deadlift. Now, this is again a bit more like a trap bar deadlift than a conventional deadlift. So you can do a sort of a warm up here if you want, with band not doubled over. You're doing like the almost like a single banded here. Now, if you step on both sides of the band here, you're going to get a much more intense experience here, and that feels a lot heavier. Um, and again, I find that really does target the glutes more than the hamstrings, more than any other parts of the area chain. And if you're pressed for time, if you are someone who doesn't really enjoy the barbell version of this, or if you're trying to rehabilitate an injury, then I think that um, all of these are really good. The one problem is, you know, you are kind of restricted by the bands. You can't just keep infinitely adding weight to the bar as you might be able to the barbell, right? You get to a point where it's sort of unpractical to have doubled up bands. You're standing on two sets of bands at the same time or something like that. But it can be done. It can be done, and I think basically in my own situation, I made a lot of progress, and I think I got most of my sort of newbie gains with resistance band work, and that was during the lockdown. I really, really did a lot of work at home uh, with resistance bands. I think that they were really good. They're so easy to use. They're so convenient, and this particular set I found very convenient and very good to use. The one thing though is that, as I said earlier on in the video, you will have this very same problem, the lighter bands particularly, but also with the other bands. They wear out over time, and you'll see these little kind of imperfections of building up on the bands, and over time that will just turn into a bigger tear, and it will just snap on you one day. So they're not something that will last forever. You'll have to replace them. But I just think that they're such a great thing to have in your training. And if you can go a step further, you can sometimes think about combining um, them with free weights. So, for example, yeah, do like a banded uh, dumbbell curl. Um, I think a lot of powerlifters use them on compound lifts as well. Personally, I don't really feel the need to do that because I don't do any kind of powerlifting or anything like that. But I think that they come into their own really on isolation moves for more than compound lifts. You can use them for like resisted push-ups or something like that. I really don't like that. It doesn't feel very right for me, but it may work for you. You sort of put it around your back, and so at the top of the lift. Well, you feel a lot of resistance coming in. When you get further down, less resistance. But yeah, so if you find this product out there in the wild, they're very good, fantastic. But if not, something that looks exactly like it really will probably do you just as well. I don't think that they're very expensive. I don't think they break the bank. And I do think if you are someone who's sort of starting off on your home journey, particularly if you're someone who's sort of had some injuries before and you're sort of a bit cautious about throwing yourself back into free weights, these are a good product. So, um, you know, I really advise you get something like this. And as I say, it doesn't need to be this brand. It could be any brand, just something that looks like this. You can buy them individually. Um, that's cheaper, or if you prefer to just sort of work your way through them and see if you actually need the heavier ones as well, or you can buy them as a set. I really think that they're quite, you know, they're well worth it in terms of value. They might not build the most muscle in the world, but it's great. It's a great tool to have in your home gym of extra, or it could be your whole home gym if you really had your mind set on it. Anyway, I wonder if you've had any experience using this product or the Core Games set, or if you have any experience using loop style bands. If you have any advice about loop style bands that you'd like to share below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. That really helps me grow the channel. please do check out our website. That's ukhomegym.com. And I'll see you next time on UK Home Gym.